who I am. Don't change who you are. Don't try to be a chameleon. When you're around this group of people, you're this way, and you're around this group of people, you're another way. No, hey, be you. Listen, stop trying to camouflage who you really are, right? I did that for years in my life. Listen, when I would be around someone that was sort of, maybe the group of people I was around, maybe they were, a little more quiet and a little more reserved, right? So I would sort of blend in and, I would be reserved and, I would be a little more quiet. But that's not who I am, right? Listen, be who you are. It is the most freeing thing that you can ever experience. Listen, take it from me, okay? Listen, when I am around a group of people, maybe they have a different personality than I do. You know what I do? Let my personality shine, because that's who I am, okay? Listen, be who God made you to be, okay? If you are a little quirky, listen, I would define myself as slightly quirky, okay? I love to laugh, I love to joke, and I love to play, and I am truly a kid at heart, and that is my personality. Now, it used to be something that I used to try to hide, right? Because I would think, oh, they're going to think I'm silly, or they're going to think that I'm immature. But listen, hello, I am 56, almost 57 years old. What people think really doesn't matter to me anymore, right? The only thing that matters to me is what God thinks of my husband, right? Listen, okay, be who you are, right? Be your own personality, even when you are married. Listen, maybe you are married to someone that's maybe more outgoing than you are. Listen, don't try to be outgoing because he's outgoing. Don't try to be more reserved because maybe your wife is more reserved. No, you be your personality. It is nice when there's sort of like a opposite, right? In terms of a relationship and in terms of a marriage. Not too opposite, okay? We're not talking about working and not working and lazy and working. No, we ain't talking about that. But anyway, listen, I am talking about be your personality, be who you are. Maybe you're a little more demure, right? Be that person. That's okay. Don't change who you are. Be your personality, right? Listen, I am a person that I talk to everyone. I have never met a stranger, literally. I am just like my father, right? When I go out in public, my husband will tell you, I speak and talk to everyone. And I know, but listen, my husband, he's a little more reserved, right? But he allows me to be who I am. Listen, be who you are. Be your own personality, right? If you are a very friendly person, if you are more of a shy, kind of in the background person, be that person. Celebrate who you are. There is nothing wrong with it. Be who you are. Don't take on another person's personality. Well, this woman, she's more outgoing, or, she does this around the house, and, she know how to plant flowers. Listen, let me tell you a funny story. When I was first married, right? I would, read the books and, talk to older women that have been married for a long time. And, they would share with me about, how they would garden and, how they would make their fresh vegetables and, how they can make, things in the kitchen and all these great things, right? So I decided when I was first married, right? I said, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to be doing too. Not no, listen, I can't garden, okay? That's not who I am. I tried. I really did try. But listen, that's why succulents are my friend, okay? Because I don't have to really tend to them. Be who you are, right? Don't be someone, it's almost like you're being this sort of chameleon. Because if you do not be who you are, then you are being disingenuous to your own self, right? You are not being true to who you truly are, which is amazing, which is phenomenal, which is wonderful, right? But you have to be who you are. Don't try to be like the wife that's next door, or try to be like the husband that's, her husband, he does this and he does that. Well, you know what? Maybe God has you up with a husband, or God's going to send you a husband that maybe he can't do those things, right? But he's still a wonderful husband. He works and he brings his check home along with himself. But anyway, listen, just be who you are, okay? And so I had to learn, listen, you are not good at gardening, okay? And that is okay, right? You have other gifts. I like to decorate, and I like, keep our house a certain way, and, all this good stuff, right? But listen, I had to be who I am, right? You can't be someone that you are not. Listen, marinate and enjoy who you are, right? Don't change who you are. Don't try to be a chameleon. When you're around this group of people, you're this way, and you're around this group of people, you're another way. No, we're not doing that. I'm not talking about code switching, okay? Because sometimes we do have to code switch, at work and there's certain circumstances, right? So that's completely different. But listen, be who you are. Be your personality, right? If you are a wild and fun person and you enjoy going on roller coasters, or you enjoy doing adventurous things, and you like going camping, or maybe you're an outdoors person, or maybe you like to sit home and read a book. Listen, be who you are, okay? Don't be out there trying to climb a mountain and good and well you're supposed to be at home reading a book. Oh, listen, be who you are, okay? I hope that this has encouraged you. God bless you. And remember, do not ever give up before the miracle happens. God bless. Bye.